Greetings, Texans. This tutorial is going to show you how to create your OneNote class notebook and enter all of your students at one time. So we are going to start by going to OneNote online, and we're just going to type in office.com. And when we do that, it's going to bring up the suite of OneNote apps. And we are going to choose Class Notebook. And once we get into the Class Notebook wizard, we are going to create a class notebook. And the first option that you get, obviously, is to name your class. And so, you can do first period, second period, third period, or you can do, as our example has shown us, biology, period 2. That's totally up to you. For the sake of this example, I am going to call it practice class. And I'm going to hit next. And then it's going to give me an overview of everything that is going to show up in my notebook. Collaboration space, we'll talk a little bit about that at a later time, as well as the content library. Content library is basically where you are creating your file cabinet for all of your resources for that class, for the year, for the semester, however you choose to do it. Then, of course, every class comes with student notebooks. So I'll hit next there. The next option is for you to give another teacher permission to use your class. I would strongly suggest that if you are with content and grade level, that you give those teachers permission. So all 6th grade ELR teachers might share class notebooks, because that's going to allow you to do some things later when you are trying to share material. Instead of each teacher having to distribute that information to his or her class, one teacher can distribute that information to all of the 6th grade ELR teachers. So in this case, I am going to make my co-teachers Miss Sellers, and I guess I need to type her name correctly. Sellers. Okay, her name should pop up. And then I'm also going to make Miss Blue a co-teacher. Her name will also pop up. And the next thing I want to do then is to add my students. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another tab. I'm going to jump out of Office. I'm going to leave it open, but I'm going to jump out of Office, and I'm going to go to my grade book. And I'm going to open my grade book, and you can see when you open your grade book, this is the home page of your grade book. You want to go up here to where it says Class Management. You're going to select Email, and then you're going to select To. And here where it says send to, we want to double check and make sure we are going to send to students only at this point. At times you'll want to be able to send information to your parents. This is good to know for eSchool Plus. Anytime you want to contact parents, that option is there. But also for OneNote, if you want to give your parents permission to see all of the assignments, they can. If you send that to them, they'll be able to see everything that's in that content library. And they won't have any editing rights, but they will be able to see all the assignments that you've pushed out. So once we've selected students, we're going to go over here, and we're not going to check any of these boxes here. We're just going to check this plus sign for second period. The reason you have 2 second periods, in this case, he has multiple grade levels, but one is for first semester and one is second semester. So we're going to click the plus sign on second period, and then where it says student name, we are going to click that one time, and that is going to highlight all of the students in that class. Then we're going to click close. And then what I now have is a list of all of the emails for the students in that class. So I am going to highlight this. I'm going to hit Control-C and copy that. I'm going to jump right back over to my OneNote notebook. I'm going to hit Control-V, and I'm going to paste all of those students' names in. And as you can see, they show up, comma separated, and now I have entered the students for my class. I want to hit Next. You'll see the option of every folder or handout that's available in OneNote. If I want to keep these, I can keep those as is. If I wanted to change one of those, let's just say I wanted to also have a folder for, if this was science, and I wanted to have a folder for lab assignments, I would just click that plus sign and I would do lab assignments. And let's just say I did not want to have a handouts section in my folder. I would click that and unclick it, and then my notebook is going to show up with class notes, homework, quizzes, and lab assignments. I'm going to click next. It's going to give me a preview of what the teacher will see. That's what the teacher will see. I have my class notebook name, my collaboration space, my content library, and these 3 students are in my class. And if I want to see what the students will see, I'll click on students. They'll open up practice notebook. They'll see collaboration space, content library. Each student will find their name. Well, for their individual notebook, it'll just be their name. And each student will see that they have a section for class notes, for homework, for quizzes, and lab assignments. I think that looks exactly the way I want it to. I'll hit create. My notebook is being set up. While this is turning, what it's doing is it's creating those individual notebooks for all of those students. It's also generating an email that will be sent to all of those students. Because we are actually creating the email now, your students are going to get email. They have a valid student email address because they're in eSchool. It is actually going to go to them. If you have the Windows 10, you don't necessarily need to download the Class Notebook add-in because it's already built in for us. And basically, you are done. What you want to do is click Open in OneNote. And my practice notebook, you're going to click here to say remember the location, basically. What you see is the previous notebooks that I have open, but my actual practice notebook is loading at this time. And as you can see, there's a welcome, there's a collaboration space of content, and again, there are all of my students there. What I like to do is to go over here. I'm going to close my Tech PLC notebook that I had open, and I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to close my Sam Houston staff notebook because I have a number of notebooks. And I'm going to go down here where you can see my practice class. I'll open my practice class. If I scroll down, I now can see all of my students. And each of my students has those sections in the notebooks that I have created. In order to see this view where you have all of your notebooks, I have them pinned. So when yours comes up, it probably will just look like it will probably look like this, and it just says practice class. But if you want to see the notebooks that you've created, which would also include the staff notebook that I've sent out to you, you would just click that button and then click the pin notebook, and that allows you to see all the notebooks that you have anytime you open it. So that is how you are able to create your class notebook and add your students to it.